2 weeks ago, I closed a deal with a $57 million CEO for a very challenging project. I had to write and design a sales page for his online survival training. We agreed on $500 upfront and 3% of all sales in case it outperforms his current one. So yesterday I hopped on a call with his marketing team to coordinate the whole thing, and in a moment I'm gonna show you exactly what it looks like, and we're gonna break it down piece by piece. Let's do it. Alright, so first of all, today's episode 4 of our series, Road to $10,000 a month. If you've lost the past episodes, I'm gonna create a playlist where you can see all of them, and I'm gonna link them down here in the description. So before we get into the sales page, it's gonna be literally a minute, I'm gonna tell you what I did this week. As you can see here from the numbers of outreaches, I've not been consistent at all. I did not manage to be consistent with outreaches, and you can see the replies number went very down because I did them not so focused, did not work so hard on the message, did not find very well targeted leads. So it's been a mess. But now, yesterday I did a good day of outreach. I'm expecting a couple of replies from them, and I'm gonna keep it up like that. I'm gonna really try to go with 5 to 10 outreaches a day because, as we can see from the numbers, I need to keep it up. So I'm done with the sales page for this $57 million CEO, so I'm now looking for a new one to take commission from, right? That's my goal right now. I should receive the payment for that sales page soon. That's a $500, and I'm gonna keep up the 5 daily outreaches going. This week, like literally today is Tuesday, this week I'm talking about Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I wrote already 5 ad scripts for $130, and I got commissioned 4 more yesterday night. So that's already gonna be good. And I also received another referral yesterday. I'm gonna put the picture at the screenshot here so you see it. And that's probably gonna be another 3 to 4 ad scripts. So that's very good. I've been following up with the guy whom I was planning to launch a school community with, if you go back a couple episodes. But he's being very busy. We did not manage to jump on a call and finalize the deal. Hopefully we can do that this week because that community can really get me to 20K a month. I'm serious, okay? So hopefully I can get that closed. That is gonna be very clutch for us. We're still going for the $10,000 a month this month. We still have 19 days to go this month. I'm gonna do my best. If I keep up the outreach, I know opportunities are gonna come. That's how it works. If you keep up with the outreach, opportunities are gonna come. And if you keep your clients happy, referrals are gonna come. That is how we're scaling to $10,000 a month. I have already increased my prices a little bit. Before, I was charging always $100 per ad script. Now, every time I get a new client, $130. Now, obviously, the goal is getting more results, getting some case studies done this month, and then we go up to $150 a month, $150 per ad script, which is pretty sick, if you ask me. Now, that's the thing. I need to be consistent with the outreach. I'm just gonna keep my clients happy, keep it up, and we are gonna get there. Now, this was a bit the update. Let's go into the actual sales page. All right, here we go. Let me give you some background because if you have a marketing brain or understand a little bit how marketing works, you need to have a little background to understand the sales page. So this sales page is for people who we get from especially ads, so cold traffic. The ads are gonna be about active killer events, okay? So active killer events is any time that someone just in the US, this is very often right now, they just take a gun, they go somewhere crowded to their office, to the movie theater or whatever, and they start shooting random people, okay? The only goal, killing people. And these attacks are happening about every 7 days in the US, and this is a training against that. Okay, so this is just for your understanding. Now, how sophisticated is this audience? It's not sophisticated. There's not many people. There's basically nobody who does this. Not many people do this in the US. How aware are they of these active shooters? They are pretty aware of it. Okay, so we are not talking to people who don't know what an active shooter is or an active killer is. They know what it is. They're just not very aware of the solution. So that is what we're gonna do here. Now, for that reason, this is our heading, right? Based on the sophistication and awareness, this is our heading. Would you survive an active killer attack? Question. Why do we do a question? Because humans are proven to not be able to keep a question open. We always want the answer. And in this case, it's a very challenging answer because you don't know if you're able to. You want to know, hey, would I be able to survive? So that's why a question always works very well in the heading. Eyebrow. I don't really like this eyebrow on top. I mean, I want to make it a bit longer. Here, obviously, there's going to be a VSL. Yes, I want to learn how to survive the button. Obviously, guys, this is all censored. There's not the name of the person I'm working with. It's all, you're gonna see it's all censored. So for example, here from Juby's desk, right? It's not gonna be from the name of the person. But let's get into the lead, into the hook. Call it however you want. So from Juby's desk, Bowling Green, Kentucky, whatever. Dear reader, life is not fair. On April 10, 2023, a 23-year-old man armed with an AR-15 probably style rifle. I'm gonna remove the style rifle. I'm just gonna put with an AR-15. Killed 5 of his colleagues after a meeting in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, so we start with a story. When you're someone who's into is already in the mindset of active shooters, they could start shooting, whatever, and then you go into a story. As humans, the most persuasive thing for us are stories. If we see a good story, we start hearing a good story from someone talking next to us, we just automatically want to listen to it. So that's why a very good way to start is with a story. How can you call that fair? You can't. The best thing you can do is acknowledge that life is both unfair and unpredictable, and then prepare for the worst. And unfortunately, attacks like the one above happen much more frequently than you probably think. Okay? So here we go with a story, and our main emotion is obviously fear. We want to have an angle where we create fear. This done, we go into the attacks, right? We say it happens much more frequently than you probably think. Attacks. 297 attacks, 644 victims, 1,000. These are all real numbers. Those are the stats of the active shooter incidents reported by the FBI between 2016 and 2021. Notice, you need to be specific. I said FBI, I said 2016, 2021. Over 640 people unfairly lost their life over a few others who thought killing would solve their personal problems. But do you know what hurts me the most? Knowing that with just a couple hours of training, many of them would still be alive today. You see, a vast majority of people don't realize that, for as tiny as the chances might seem, you could be a victim of an attack at any time. A bit more fear, here a bit, some numbers, so people are a bit more scared, but it's more informational. There's a reason to be scared, right? The numbers are pretty crazy. Knowing that with just a couple of hours of training, they could be still alive. Easy copy. And then we transition into some more data to back up what we just said. So I created this map. This is a real map. It took me an hour to do on Canva, but it's basically where all the biggest shootings happen in the US. And then we go into building more fear, but we're basically just backing up the claims we just did. So it could happen while you are at the restaurant, and these are all real numbers, real data, which is pretty scary. At the restaurant, at the festival, at the movie theater, at the airport, at your son's football game, at your school, at church, at your workplace. These are all events that happen there. And if it does, you can either freeze and accept your fate, or you can take action and do your best to get out of there alive. How? Following the ABCD survival protocol. Obviously, it was not called ABCD, but I'm censoring it because, I'm censoring it for privacy. Following the ABCD survival protocol. Discover the ABCD survival protocol now. That would get them all the way down to the price. ABCD, the most effective survival protocol for active shooting attacks. Now here, obviously, I put my pictures instead of the one of the CEO. My training is very simple. A straightforward 3-hour course that covers everything you need to prevent, de-escalate, and survive an active shooter attack, including, and here we go to the bullet points. This is the fat part of this sales pitch. The exact action plan you should follow to maximize your chances of surviving under attack. ABCD. How to understand the mind of an active killer, predict his moves, and use them to your advantage. The warning signs of a potential attack. What are the key triggers and how to quickly de-escalate the situation. The mental model you must have in order to disarm, disable, or kill the attacker without hesitation. Notice, all of these points are very intriguing, and that's the point, right? I was talking to a copywriter yesterday, and we agreed on that copywriting, you can summarize copywriting in just writing bullet points. If you get extremely good at writing bullet points, you're an extremely good copywriter, because they're just that important. They're that important, that impactful in the copy. Bullet points, as humans, we like bullet points. They're easy to digest, and when they are with the benefits, not just the feature, but the benefits, that's where they become very, very intriguing. And persuasive. What not to do if you find yourself face to face with the shooter. That's what most of the victims do. How to become proactively reactionary and have a survival action plan always ready anywhere you are. the common motives of an active shooter, and how to recognize them in the people around you before it's too late. How to best take advantage of the 4.5 seconds the shooter is reloading the gun. Run, hide, fight. This one, I can improve it. 24 practical exercises you can share with your friends and family to make sure they know how to survive. A 4-second adrenaline boosting breathing drill that instantly improves your focus and relieves anxiety. And finally, a sneaky way to turn any object into a deadly weapon and use it to safely disarm the active shooter. Even a 9-year-old could do it. Why is this bullet point so good? You notice it's much better than the other ones. Because it got all the 4 emotions. A sneaky way is something new. It's sneaky. It's not just a way. A sneaky way. You've never heard of a sneaky way. So in your mind, it's something new. To turn any object into a deadly weapon. A deadly weapon is something pretty big. Okay? So new, big, and use it to safely disarm the active shooter. That is safe. Even a 9-year-old could do it. That is easy. So these bullet points is so much better than all the others because it got all the 4 emotions. And obviously the goal would be to have all the 4 emotions in each of them. But you can see how this bullet point and the first bullet point, ideally, the first and the last bullet point needs to be the strongest because that's a lot of people skim through it and they read the first and the last one. So that's why it's important to have the last one very, very strong. And a lot more. By the time you're done with the course, you'll know exactly how to maximize your chances of surviving an active shooter attack. Guaranteed. Once you complete the training, you will feel more. Once you complete the training, if you don't feel more confident in your abilities to survive an active shooter attack, all you have to do is send me an email at email using the subject line, the ABCD online training was not helpful, and the following body. I want a full refund. And I will personally send you all your money back. You're not risking a single penny. You know? Guarantee, it's always important. That's what people have right now. They're pretty like, okay, but what is if this is not worth it or whatever. Money is always an objection. Keep it in mind, money is always an objection. So now, learn how to survive today before the price increases. ABCD, get instant access to whatever, the ABCD protocol, blah, 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 blah. We make it from $891 to only $79 for a survival training. Very good deal. Yes, I want to maximize my chances of survival. Warning, the price is going to increase. The price will increase soon. You have the opportunity to learn something that could save your life and the one of the people you love for less than 10 Starbucks coffees. Don't throw it away. Don't take my word for it. Does the ABCD training actually work? Here there's going to be a case study and some testimonials. Meet your instructor. We're going to have the story of the structure. Obviously, I'm not going to spoiler it. For privacy reasons, I removed it. Moral of the story, if there's someone who can teach you how to survive, that's me. Why am I offering you such a life-saving opportunity for so cheap? Let's be real, your life is worth much more than $79. So why am I giving you this training for so cheap? To be honest with you, I could price it at $300 plus and I would probably make the same amount of sales, if not more. But for as much as I like the money and I want my company to grow, a few years ago I realized that there's more to life. You see, when the case study name appeared, someone in the case study, interviewed in the video above, looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, I think I'd be dead if it wasn't for you and your training. That day, I became addicted. I became addicted to having an impact on people's life. And after seeing how the numbers of active shooting attacks is just getting worse by the year, these are real numbers, I decided to launch the training at a ridiculously low price you can take advantage of today before increasing it to $197 in the next few days, which is still extremely cheap for its value. So here we build some urgency. We say, hey, in a few days, I'm going to increase it. I'm being good these days, but I'm going to increase it to $197. So we're building some urgency, some scarcity, and some fear of missing out. So now that you know why I'm offering you my life-saving training for just 11 cups of Starbucks coffee, let me ask you, will you take action or will you close, here it needs to be fixed, or will you close this page and accept your fate? That is what it should be. Best regards, Juby. P.S. The choice you make now will directly affect your life and the ones of the people around you. Choose wisely. I don't know, just some final call to take action. And again, we put the price, because I'm going to tell you more reason now. Here's the price, and here's frequently asked questions. Now, let me tell you the psychology behind this. As you can see, there's a transitioning. We transition from emotions, fear, we transition towards, obviously, this is still very emotional, we still like, it's very, very emotional and persuasive, and then we go into something more logical, like this. And the reason for that is that our brain is more than 90% irrational. Okay, the only rational part is the cortex in the front of our head, and for the most of it, especially at the beginning, the only part that's involved is our emotional part of the brain. So for the first 90% of the sales page, people are just going to be driven by their emotional side of the brain. So it's important that you play it on the emotions. Now, what happens is that whenever we get close to taking an action, this is something that happens anytime, not just in sales pages, right? This is human behavior. Anytime you get close to actually having to take action, having to pay for something, having to actually stand up and go get the remote, our rational mind, our cortex, kicks in, okay? So it's important that whenever we get close to taking action, you understand that people go from being emotional to being rational. So you want to give them a rational reason, to buy. And that's why down here we gave them a rational reason to buy. Why am I offering this for so cheap? Like, right now they go from, okay, this is great, this is so cheap, I need to buy it right now, to, wait, why is he offering it so cheap? And is it gonna work? If it's so cheap, is it gonna work? They're gonna have some logical reasons to not buy, and for that reason, you wanna give them a logical reason to buy, which is what I did down here in the last section. This is very logical. I'm telling them, hey, after that happened, I really wanted to make it as much, as affordable as possible, and I'm gonna keep it like this for a couple of days before increasing it. So, it's very logical. It's very logical. We start from being very emotional. We start from being life is not fair. You can't. It's unpredictable. Blah blah blah. blah to building up on emotions. Here, building up on emotions, and then we go into more logical. The more logical part starts from the guarantee. This is already more logical, and down here it's obviously more logical. So that said, this was the sales page. We're gonna test it in the next week. Then we're going to test it next week, run it for 60 days, and see if it's more profitable than what they're doing right now, if we can make it a profitable funnel. But yeah, this is it for this video. I already told you about what I'm going to do with the outreach to get to 10K a month. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any question regarding the sales page, stay tuned. More videos are on the way. If you enjoyed the video, obviously share, comment, like, whatever. Down in the description, if you want to learn from me and get a client as fast as humanly possible, literally, you can check my program down here in the description. And I think that's it. See you in the next.